Pull the string!
Scoodly, wow, wow, wow.
Bay Area Backstage.
The human brain contains 100 billion neurons. Each neuron is as powerful as a large computer, and each neuron has around 10,000 connections with other neurons within our foreheads.
M. Suggested for mature audiences. Parental discretion advised.
All these factors must be considered as we plan for the survival of our homes, our families, and our nation in the nuclear age.
Stay away from it. I remember, I started the old days here.
Watch like people come in and out. And we just sat there drinking his wine out of the yeah.
What we have coming up on stage is the beginning of Fear FestEvil, and it's with a horror panel with a bunch of badasses that are about to be on these benches here talking about their love of horror and what made them become obsessed with this beautiful dark form of art. So everyone, gather around this stage over here. We got some badasses about to come up. Thank you very much for coming out to Fear FestEvil, and we'll be back with performances with a bunch of badass bands. High on Fire, yeah! Orchid, yeah!
Is everybody in position? Because it's incredibly rare to have.
In the syndicate.
It's incredibly rare to have all these people in one place at one time for anything other than this. So feel free to make a shit ton of noise.
And of course, Ghoul got added to the fucking deal, which is very cool. So, alright, guys, we're about to give it over to these badasses. Please give a round of applause for everybody coming out on stage. We're going to hand it over to Stefan. Fear FestEvil number 2, yeah!
How's everybody doing? As you can see, we've started a band. So
and you'll be hearing more of us later.
Hold on. This was a bad idea.
Okay. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves today. I hope that the guys who were here last night had a good time. I had a good time. And you know there's a lot more in store. It's not over yet, so yes, let's get down to it then. Shall we start?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the topic that we're going to be discussing.
The topic is psychopaths in film. What is a psychopath? Who is a psychopath? What kind of psychopath scares you? And Corey, ask those questions.
Oh, me, yeah.
Wait a minute, what am I doing?
Yeah, what's that? You know, mostly, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and go. I think for me, a psychopath, I mean, there's so many sides and so many spectrums to what would be a film psychopath, you know? Like, you've got everyone from Peter Lorre and M, which was just such a dark, fucked up manifestation of that. But then you've got, you know, some of our modern classics like Michael Myers. You've got Freddy Krueger, the bastard son of 1,000 maniacs. You know, so I mean, that's kind of the end of the spectrum. There's like the kind of cartoonish side of it, but then there's that kind of like laser pointer straight, just holy shit fucking psychopath. So, I mean, I guess that's what it kind of comes down to for me.
And there's Hannibal Lecter.
There is indeed Hannibal Lecter.
And who else is there? The Shining.
Well, yeah, there's Jack Nicholson in The Shining. There's Rutger Hauer in The Hitcher.
Great fucking movie. Very underrated movie.
You know,
that remake.
For me, I think the most interesting psychopaths are the ones who are either extremely covert or the ones who are extremely overt. And so, you know, a good example of like a covert psychopath would be, you know, you're more like Norman Bates kind of psychopath.
Yeah.
You know, normal on the outside, but totally twisted on the inside. And you go on the other side of the spectrum, and you have someone like, you know, Jason from Friday the 13th, totally over the top psychopath. But then, you know, there is a middle ground, like old Chop Top from Texas.
Oh, yes.
Dog will hunt. Get that bitch. Yeah. You know, Chop Top was, you know, I think he suffered from his head wound. But Chop Top was, you know, I think the saving grace for Chop Top, which is why I feel so comfortable up here, and that is music is my life.
Yeah.
If it weren't for music, Chop Top would be a pretty glum character.
I liked his Sonny Bono wig. It wasn't his Sonny Bono vest.
Sonny Bono. And as Chop Top likes to say, lick my plate, you dog dick. But you know, the thing about Chop Top and Otis, Driftwood, if you want to
Otis.
and then they're family guys. You know, that's the nice thing about these psychopaths. I mean, there is the loner psychopath, and then there is the family guy. And Otis, you know, of course, the Driftwoods and the Fireflies. Chop Top is the Sawyers. Luigi Largo from Repo the Genetic Opera is the Largo family. So I seem to be more, I get cast more as like the family guy, I guess because I, you know, have such, I exhibit such good family values.
Now, well, here's something. It's like, Bill, when you were growing up watching movies, what would have been a psychopath in that, like, your cinematic generation? Like, obviously, probably, what, Shining?
Yeah, Shining.
Yeah.
I'm a little older now. Actually, when I grew up, you know, what I loved was giant atomic animal movies.
Oh, okay.
I grew up on giant insects and praying mantises and killer shrews.
You gotta hate those killer shrews.
But you know, the scariest psychopath to me that really just stopped me in my tracks as a young buck, and that was Ed Neal as the hitchhiker in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
Because I had seen, you know, mad scientists like Dr. Frankenstein and, you know, those kind of, you know, and Igor. By the way, I think the Bela Lugosi Igor and Ghost of Frankenstein is one of my favorites.
I believe that's one of Bela Lugosi's finest roles.
Finest roles, absolutely. But I would say that Ed Neal as the hitchhiker really stopped me in my tracks. I was a college grad and I saw that and I could not believe it. It really freaked me out. In fact, it freaked me out so much that I stayed freaked out until I got the part of Chop Top and showed up, and you know, I found that if you join the family, you know, you feel a lot better.
And boy, did you join that family.
So after the show, join us.
Well, what about you, Charlie? What kind of comes to mind when you talk about like psychopaths in movies?
I guess the movie that I love the most would be Jaws, and I guess the character of Quint.
Okay, all right, interesting.
He completely took the boat down.
It will, yes. Okay.
He didn't care who he killed, so he was determined to kill that shark. If the shark killed him and everybody else.
Hints of Moby Dick.
Hints of Moby Dick.
Maybe Ahab would have been one of the original, like, literary.
Exactly.
Very nice. Thank you.
That's where it was from.
Huh.
Moby Dick. Not the John Long Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Gregory Peck Moby Dick.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's a good one.
In movies, was there any female psychopaths that come to mind? Whatever happened to Baby Jane or...
What about Play Misty for me?
That was what I was going to say. The scariest movie.
That was a great movie.
And Misty for me.
That's like, that's
Stephen King.
Misery! Play Misty for me was one of Hitchcock's movies that just does not get enough attention, and it's a really scary movie.
Somebody
Go out there and watch that one. Play Misty for me, folks. Great.
Kathy Bates.
Mrs. Voorhees.
And Carrie and Fatal Attraction.
I can see your dirty pillows.
Fatal Attraction.
Wailing the Bunny.
Should have worn a condom.
Attraction. That was scary.
That's fucked up. Well,
Boiling the bunny. I mean, you don't boil a bunny, man. That's a nut that boils a bunny.
I think that was frightening to all guys watching that movie. They were like, oh, that is scary shit right there.
All the women are going, yay!
The women are going, no! Yeah, the women are like, that's not that scary.
how'd you like to have been a dude that took a date to that movie and it's like, oh, this is stupid.
Should have seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre instead.
You know, since we're on that subject, though, you know, there's a movie that reminds me of Fatal Attraction. It's that movie Gone Girl, and you know, it's a dramatic movie, but you know, for me, it's a horror story. It's a horror story because you know, if you're in that guy's shoes or the protagonist's shoes, you're one scared motherfucker. And I can relate to that guy more than enough that I'd like to admit.
I think they all can.
Yeah, and it was one scary film for me. And in fact, I'm afraid to watch it with my wife.
Well, hopefully no spoilers for anybody, but dude, when she pats the side of the bed, she's like, come on. And I'm like, fuck you. Are you insane? No, thank you.
I just remembered one other psychopath. Have you ever seen the movie Goodfellas?
Yeah.
Tommy, played by Joe Pesci. Am I funny to you? Funny? Am I a clown? Am I a clown to you?
Spider. He shoots Spider, right? He shoots Spider. He was a great psycho. He played a great psycho.
Well, De Niro played some good psychos too. You got Taxi Driver.
Cape Fear.
Cape Fear.
Oh, Cape Fear is fucking brilliant.
Cape Fear is great.
I have to say that's one of the finest psychos on film is De Niro's Cape
Our
Fear.
Max Cady, right? I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Yes. The list goes on. You could, you know, Apocalypse Now. You know, you got.
Oh my god, yeah, dude, fucking.
Yeah.
Kirk Crimson on the guitar.
Yeah, that's a psycho.
I remember my first beer too, dude. Beautiful moment.
That's our psychopath.
It's like a corn bug song, Spot the Psycho. Hey, he's over here, he's over there, he's in your underwear.
I think psychopaths are just much more effective when they're just quiet and sneaky and below the radar, and then they rise up and then it's
Michael
just,
Myers.
He's the ultimate.
He's, you know, in that movie, really, for me, that was like, fuck any other type of movie. This is all I'm gonna watch for the rest of my life. That probably explains a lot.
The scene, you know the scene when he stabbed.
You made a decision. It was a career decision.
Oh yeah, it's like fuck.
I don't know the name, but you know he stabs the guy and he's hanging on the wall and he just admires it. It's like art.
It's that prick right there. This so good.
You know, it's true about psychopaths. What is really frightening about them is that they're real. And
it could be here.
It's true. It's like they're clean cut. You never know. You know, they don't look like monsters. They just, and that's what's so scary about them, because they could just be any one of these people. You know,
they look like shovelware.
In fact, that just reminds me. You know what a scary guy was? Paul Reiser in Aliens.
Oh yeah.
Yuppie, the bad yuppie in Aliens. He was a total psycho. And he looked like very, you know, like.
Well, now there's something that's interesting. What would you say is the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath? Because to me, a psychopath has just completely lost any boundaries and is basically just giving into their need to do whatever. And then a sociopath is very narcissistic, maybe only kills because it comes from something that they need to do for themselves. So what would be the distinction there?
Maybe taking pleasure in the kill.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
That would be the psychopath. The sociopath just does it and doesn't really,
And then sells
is
the
not
body.
connected to the emotions.
Yeah.
From what I can gather, reading about psychopaths as I have and serial killers have a distinct lack of empathy and sympathy.
True.
Whereas, you know, they just have trouble feeling, and that's what enables them to do what they do. And so, getting back to Michael Myers, I mean, when you see him, he looks like a killing machine.
Yeah.
He looks like he has absolutely no emotion, no sort of feeling, no sort of like, you know, tenderness or sensitivity. He just wants to kill and kill and kill. And for me, it's like evil personified. And that's why he's so effective, I feel.
What about Buffalo Bill that fucking performance of hard fucking so good.
That's a classic.
Or Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, absolutely. Fucking the whole scene with the business cards is so fucking funny. It's like, you got a watermark? It's like, why would you have a fucking watermark on a card anyway? And then why would that set you off to drop a chainsaw on a couple of chicks, man? Like, it's so fucking ridiculous. It's almost cartoonish, but that brings it back to the overt side of shit, where it's almost like it's ultra violence instead of just violence.
But wasn't he also like really moved by Huey Lewis and the News?
He was, which
And Genesis.
if you haven't heard the sports album, you haven't lived, you know?
Well, in the book he goes on for an entire chapter about how great Genesis' Abacab album is. And
that's a beautiful album.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're a serial killer, it is. But I mean, you know, it just goes to show how much lack of empathy and feeling and sympathy a serial killer has when he devotes a whole fucking chapter to how great Genesis Abacab album is. Come on!
That's his jam, dude. What the fuck?
There's such a lack of feeling in that album.
And Huey Lewis in the News, right?
Hey,
I love Huey Lewis.
I love fucking Huey Lewis in the News. I don't know, that might say a little too much about me. Apologize.
He's a Bay Area boy, so don't say the same.
Right?
That's right. I have to say that
You're back in 1,000, dude. You're fucking doing great.
As a practicing psycho, what I do, you know, some people say, you know, how do you get to those dark places? And I'm still trying to find my way back from those dark places. But what I do is, one of my little tricks is, I'm the only sane one in the room. And that way, I'm the only sane one and you're all crazy. So what I'm doing is actually the right way to do it. So that helps me. Plus, I try to be happy in my work. Yeah, I think all psychopaths, they're not doing this because they're fighting some inner demons. They are basically, they're like water skiing behind the boat of the inner demons. They're really enjoying it. So that's what I try to do.
That's a great image. That's why we're skiing behind the boat.
That's terrible. Beautiful. That's fucking awesome. What about you, Charlie? Charlie.
We should talk about bands that write like psychos.
Yeah, there's a lot of psychopaths. There's a lot of psychopaths in music.
There's a lot of psychos in bands.
That's what makes us talk about
band psycho.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't mention it.
No, we just shouldn't go there. That's too easy.
But didn't Frank Sinatra always kill somebody with a telephone one time just because a guy pissed him off in a restaurant?
I wouldn't know.
I wasn't there, but
I read the book.
Sure you did.
Elvis had some questionable behavior.
No, Elvis, not Frank. No.
Elvis has questionable behavior. But
you shoot a fucking
he was
TV
a serial TV killer.
I mean, Keith Moon was borderline crazy.
There you go.
Keith Moon.
Now, was he a psychopath or was he just fucking crazy? You know? I mean, if we really wanted to get deep with it, though, Phil Spector.
Phil Spector.
Bingo.
Allegedly.
Ike
Turner. Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah, oh shit.
Ike Turner.
You know what? You know what we should do?
I can hear the thin ice cracking.
We should ask some. We should go to the audience and get some questions. You know?
All right. Well,
no comment.
I just wanted to point out as well, you were talking about musicians and psychopaths. I think Brian Wilson working with Charles Manson was a pretty
Charlie Benante.
Yeah. Actually, it was Dennis Wilson.
That would have been a fucked up. Oh yeah, Dennis.
Actually, I wanted to ask Bill about channeling a psychopath. Can you talk about playing Jim Sidow's role or reprising that role? He was a great psychopath.
He was a great psychopath. Oh my God, Jim Sidow, when he was poking the girl with the sting, the original Texas Chainsaw. I mean, that to me was one of the high watermarks of Psycho. But playing him actually wasn't really a labor of psycho as much as it was a labor of love. I was very happy to get to play Jim, and a guy that I loved, Jim. We actually would exchange Christmas cards, so that's probably psychotic. It was great. It was great being able to play him. I didn't really get Jim at first in terms of wanting to play him accurately until I figured out, and the producer said that Jim had a paunch, and I remember Jim as a gaunt man, not a fat guy. But what I figured out was that Jim, instead of that Jim kind of walked with his hips thrust forward. And once I got that, it was like, look what your brother did to the door! And once I got that, it was like,
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill.
My question is for all of you guys, actually. If you can play any psychopath or serial killer in a remake or a reboot or whatever, who would you want to play?
I would play Dr. Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator. Because Reanimator is one of my favorite movies, and yeah, that role is just so perfect in it. It's sarcasm, and it's fucking pure insanity, and it's just everything. It's just he's such a psycho in that role, and that I would like to play Dr. Jeffrey Combs.
Nice.
Herbert West is what I mean. Herbert West. Sorry, Jeffrey Combs is the actor. Dr. Herbert West is the.
Yes.
I'd probably say like Ted Bundy.
Oh, good call. You just want an excuse to drive a Volkswagen.
Yeah, and get the ladies.
I want to play Edgar in King Lear.
Yeah. There you go. Wow. Decent.
That's where Tom's a cold.
I would probably play Al Bundy.
Al Bundy?
Didn't you already do that?
He's a psychopath.
Oh, well, okay. Fair enough.
Hit it.
Me? Oh, fuck. I would probably want to be, probably Michael Myers.
That's my favorite.
I'm so not tall enough to play Michael Myers. So who's somebody short, like the fucking weirdo from Basket Case, man.
Oh, yeah.
Just me in a fucking basket, just coming out and chewing on fuckers' jugulars. I have the, I'm short, I'm squat, I got the neck for it. Yeah, that'd be great.
All you would need is just a basket.
If anyone's casting for the reboot of Basket Case, my number is 515.
So, what was the name of that thing in the basket? It had a name.
It was his twin.
Yeah,
it was like his fucking conjoined twin.
Like Malek or something.
I can't remember what it is. Dude, it's been so long.
What? Belial.
Oh, there it is.
Belial. I knew it was something biblical.
Okay, we got a question. We got a question from down here. Dead pretty looking girl right down here.
Oh, there's a shark. There's a fucking shark down there.
Oh my God, there's a shark in the water!
Charlie, land shark. Look towards the clown, guys.
Alright, give it to me.
What's your favorite movie based on an H.P. Lovecraft story?
I just said in Reanimator. I love Reanimator.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for someone to make the Call of Cthulhu.
They've got the technology now.
They have the technology. I hope they do it.
I got very excited because my favorite story is At the Mountains of Madness. And there was a time there when Guillermo del Toro was going to shoot it. And back when it was set in the 30s, and Jim Cameron was going to produce.
Oh, wow.
I was so excited about that, but then it never came to pass. But that's what I want.
That would be.
It hasn't happened yet, so that's not a good answer.
I'm waiting for them to make Reanimator 3.
All right, my question is, who's your favorite horror author? Your favorite horror author?
Author?
Yes.
Interesting. Dr. Spock comes to mind. But his older shit, you know?
Stephen King.
Stephen King. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a traditionalist. I love H.P. Lovecraft. And I love Robert E. Howard. H.G. Wells is good.
Dianetics.
Hubbard. Main spirit. Oh, it was L. Ron Hubbard. Sorry.
Just so we're clear. Thank you for laughing.
Clyde Barker is really great as well.
Yeah. My favorite book of all time is The Stand. I read it every year, once a year, and I have the unabridged version that has the extra 150,000 fucking words. But I've had the same copy since 1990. It's second edition, it's hardcover, and I take it with me everywhere I fucking go. So it's my favorite book ever.
I have a little secret that I need to come clear with you guys. While I was reading The Stand, there's a scene where one of the main characters goes into prison, and he's talking about, you know, the convicts, and he goes to one prisoner and said, yeah, this person's about to ride the lightning.
Yeah.
And I started, ride the lightning. So I have Stephen King to either thank or run away from him.
This question's from Corey.
Yes.
So, being a horror fan as long as you have been, how was it to be in Fear Clinic?
Okay. Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna geek out for a second. Sitting in the makeup trailer with fucking Robert Englund every day was like the coolest shit of my life. And I won a Grammy. This made it fucking really cool. Sitting with Robert Englund. He's got the best stories that I've ever heard, because he's like hanging out with all these crazy bands from the 80s and shit at the fucking Rainbow Bar and Grill, and I'm just like, he's also one of the coolest people, one of the most open people. He taught me a lot about acting and just, you know, how to play a scene, and it was fucking rad. But not only being in a movie with him, but Fiona Dourif, who's a fucking amazing actress. Brad Dourif is her father, everybody knows fucking Brad Dourif. And Thomas Dekker, who was in that movie as well. And then there's me, you know, like the asshole from SLIPKNOT. I was like, I won a fucking contest, I get to be in a movie. I was in a movie with a lot of great people who helped me fucking get through it, and hopefully I didn't embarrass myself, but at the end of the day, I was in a movie with fucking Robert Englund, dude. If anyone's casting for
how'd you prep for
All right, I have a question for everybody. What do you guys think is the absolute worst horror movie of all time?
Can we do a top 10?
Okay, so check this out.
I was just down in Louisiana with Phil Anselmo.
Nice.
And Phil Anselmo is a huge horror fan, and Phil wanted to show me like the absolute worst horror movie in his collection, which was fast. And he put on a horror movie called Deafula, which was like a Dracula movie. It was black and white, but it was all in sign language. Deafula. Terrible. Deafula. So I would have to throw that out.
Okay, so they're right back in the golden age of VHS. I once bought this one movie, and I have to say it's probably the worst horror movie, but also one of the most intriguing horror movies I've ever seen. And it was made in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, and it was first of all, it was an anti-drug film. It was like a propaganda film. And in the movie, anyone who did drugs turned into a giant chicken. I kid you not. I have the tape in my collection somewhere. I forgot the title. I bought it on Amazon. Can you find it to me? I want to see that film. I have it somewhere. And I kid you not, this is what actually happens every time someone does drugs in the movie.
They turn into a
giant chicken. And the chicken costume is nothing to look at.
That's
I just want you guys to know. I mean, I've seen better chicken costumes out on the street, you know, people waving.
Spinning the big fucking arrow.
Was that called Finger Licking Bad?
That was better than the title.
Kentucky Fried Movie.
What do you got, John?
I'm gonna have to say Defula. I'm going with that.
Have you seen it?
No, it sounds so horrible that I'm going with that. Nothing could be worse than that. You know what? That's why I don't do drugs, because I'm afraid I'm gonna turn into a chicken.
Yeah, I've been a chicken a few times.
Yeah. Actually, there was a movie in the 70s called Food of the Gods.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably the worst movie I've ever seen.
There's this really great bad horror movie from the 70s called Alien Factor. And have you guys seen it at all? Alien Factor. And like the main creature in this movie looks like what would happen if someone just got like a few rolls of aluminum foil and some epoxy and just glued a bunch of aluminum foil onto a person. And that was the monster in the movie. Alien Factor. Check it out. Laugh.
Okay, I guess this, I mean, I don't even know if anybody's even fucking heard of this, and I don't know if you could technically call it a horror movie, but there's a movie called Rock and Roll Zombies. Or, yeah, Rock and Roll Zombies, where fucking Hitler is the bad guy.
Oh yeah, I know that movie.
It's so fucking painful. The whole first half of it is like a fucking, like shitty Lifetime movie about a rock band with the worst mall fucking rock clothes I've ever seen in my life, by the way. Like the fucking sleeveless, skin tight fucking shirts, and they're like, yeah! But then they all get killed. But they all have to come back from the dead to save this chick from Hitler. It doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Dude, my friends watched it. I'm like, you have to fucking see this movie. And I'm just... Of course, I watched it twice to make sure it was that bad. But yeah, Rock and Roll Zombies, I can't fucking... Yeah.
They always say Plan 9 from Outer Space is the worst.
It's not.
I love that fucking movie. I'm sorry. I've got my Plan 9 t-shirt with me in backstage right now. Love that flick.
Yeah, it's a great flick.
It's all about when Tor Johnson hits the fucking door jam and shakes the entire house.
When he comes out of the grave, that's great. That is epic.
It's scary. No.
You know what was really bad was Plan 10 from Outer Space. That sucked.
Different plan. So I walked in on my 8-year-old and he was watching something. I don't know where he found it, but it was this movie called Time of the Apes. It's a Japanese movie, and it's about these two kids who go into the future, and it's like, you know, it's like Planet of the Apes, but all the apes are dressed up like Japanese traffic cops.
Oh wow! So they've got the
white helmets and like white thing here and here, and they're all apes, and they're talking like, you know, broken English, and it's just like the most craziest thing. And I said to my son, "What are you watching?" And he goes, "I don't know, Dad, but I like it."
All right, I have a question. How do you feel? Do you think that more modern horror movies with advanced special effects stack up against the older, more classic scary movies?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I think a lot of the movies today that are made, their whole thing is based on the jump scare. Which after about 2 of those, you're just like, yeah, we fucking get it. There's something, you know.
I agree with that.
You know. And
well, it's cheap and easy.
Exactly. And I believe technology has leveled the fucking playing field to the point where you can't tell a B movie from a decent quality movie. Where in the past, you could be like, you could take a look at the quality, oh, this is gonna be a piece of shit. Today, it's, you can download the fucking programs and you can make something look like it was made by fucking Michael Bay, or you can make it look like something good. Yeah. Fuck you, Michael Bay.
Tell it like it is, bro. Tell it like it is. I think it all comes down to a great story. And, you know, Exorcist, Omen, Halloween, you know, all these great movies, they're all great stories. Devil's Rejects, Come After The Shining. These are all great stories. And that's why these movies live on.
People under the stairs.
It also comes down to the imagination of the people making the movie. Some of these guys, and I hate to break the fucking fourth wall, are only there to make a paycheck. They're only there to fucking further them to get to a point where they can make a quote-unquote serious movie, whereas there are people who are actually devoted to the genre that want to make something that'll fucking carry on for years, and those are the movies that we all fucking gravitate to.
When a stranger calls.
Good movie.
The more you
Sure.
the more you see these movies, the easier it is for shit to be made. That's what I think. You should see them and just wait till something good comes out.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little ambivalent. I've seen all these remakes that have been coming out in recent years. I mean, I was just talking to someone earlier about this. I love the Evil Dead movies. Yeah. And to me, there was no real reason to have a movie that's so great remade. And on top of that, remade in a sort of lackluster, sort of like watered down way.
Yeah, you know what though? It's not as bad as you think. It's never gonna be the original. You know? It's not that bad. However, they are making Ash versus the Evil Dead right now. With Bruce Campbell, which is gonna fucking
And then they did Poltergeist. There's a new Poltergeist coming out.
Yeah, there's a new Poltergeist coming out. Why? Those fucking movies are great. There's no reason. It's Hollywood.
I have absolutely no reason to go see the remake thing because I think the original thing of John Carpenter's say it all.
Oh, it's amazing.
You know,
So good.
You know why is what this is. A lot of you, us, we have children, and a lot of the kids, they don't really enjoy it. They're like, oh, that movie's old. Just looking at the movie, and I think that's why they're remaking all these movies for this younger generation to get introduced to.
I agree with you. I heard they were remaking Master of Puppets.
Thank you, everyone. Go home.
Charlie Benante, ladies and gentlemen. Charlie Benante.
Boom.
Before I hand this over to the next question behind me, I'll say they should never remake The Shining. Never remake. Is this shit on? So who would win in a fight, Hellraiser or Freddy Krueger? You mean Pinhead? Or Pinhead?
Who cares?
Well, Pinhead's got the advantage because he's got the headbutt. You know, like he can fucking come in hard. You know, Frey's got to kind of get the reach. Who's got the reach though? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Plus, you know, Pinhead's in fucking full leather. You know, Freddy's in a sweater. You know, and all you gotta do is he gets his head stuck in that fabric. It's over. We'll get geek, man.
Pinhead has some Cenobites too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the Shadowbox.
He's not yet.
Yeah, what about the CD guy? The CD Cenobite.
That was fucking Hellraiser 3.
That was the most insane thing.
The worst shit ever, dude. Oh my god. And I saw that in the theater. You can suck it.
Me too.
I was so pissed when that fucking thing, I was like, are you shitting me?
I was pissed too. Yeah, now he would be an MP3 guy. He wouldn't even be a CD. He's throwing MP3s at you. That's my time. I gotta go.
We have 5 minutes, so let's wrap it up. Who would be, we might have already covered this, who would be our favorites? Like consensus-wise, who would be the best psychopath on film? Let's put it that way.
You know, I would have to go with Michael Myers. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, like I said, the personification of evil, no explanations, just all pure fucking
Jason Voorhees!
horribleness everywhere.
I definitely have to say Michael Myers as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound biased, but I'd say Chop Top.
No, please don't. Give us your unedited version.
Dog will hunt. Get that bitch.
It would either be Michael Myers or Hannibal Lecter. Either one.
Yeah,
Hannibal.
I mean, just because I'm biased, because it's been my favorite movie since I was a very wee child. Fucking Michael Myers, definitely. I mean,
Michael
that's
Myers
to me-
takes the, that's the majority rules.
I mean, because anybody who can just breathe and scare the shit out of you, win. That's fucking.
And while wearing a William Shatner mask.
Yeah.
Which,
That's the best part.
It's hard to find, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Fucking, really fucking
He's a
crazy.
psycho.
Well, he does make great albums, though. I'm sorry. I love his fucking. Anyway.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah.
Let it enjoy.
Okay, let's enjoy the discussion.
Can you please give a big round of applause for Corey, Chloe, Bill, Lauren, and Kirk? Please, big round of applause. Thank you very much indeed.
We are in retreat.
Come to show 'em where I am.
Destroy the humanoid. Intruder alert, intruder alert. Intruder manatee.